All right, welcome to my FX Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there are more than one medium, multiple mediums, whatever, in which you can engage with this content. But the best way, and the way that I always recommend, is the blog. And you can find the blog at myfxbuddies.blogspot.com, but that's a lot to remember or type in. So the best thing to do is wherever you are interacting with this content, look for a prompt of more info, intro, description, something of that nature. You click on it. You may have to click it twice. I'm not sure. Then it'll either say link to my FX Buddies blog, or it'll have the link, the HTTPS blah blah blah. You click that and you get here, the free blog. You don't have to put your email address, and I don't sell you anything. All right. Okay. Let's see. The other thing, or you could skip all that by subscribing. Yeah, it's free for you. At 11 minutes and 11 seconds, a little icon's gonna pop up in the right lower corner, and you click on that. And if you're on a digital device, I think you have to click twice. You also have to hit a bell and click all. Then, sometimes it'll work and sometimes it won't, but all right. And because I don't post regularly, right? That's the best way to do that. And I think that's everything. Oh, and of course, hit the thumbs up. I have one video that has 298 thumbs ups. Thank you. I don't know which one it is. I just was looking at something and it says that. So, yay. Thank you. All right, so we're going to get into it. It's Saturday. It was there's heavy news, but most of it is political and stuff that is just boring and has nothing to do with the RV, right? But so there was some banking stuff, and then I have some stuff I've been holding because, I always run out of time. Some pretty neat stuff. And yeah, okay, so we're just going to get into it. It's Saturday, November 1st. This should post for November 1st, but it may not, right? All right, so Iraq breaks free. Banking sector moves beyond the dollar. Yeah, but it's not. So that's my title, my catchy title that I have to put in social media to get you guys to click, right? Well, not the ones who are subscribed, but new people that aren't subscribed, But this is the title from the article. What is he? He's a financial and banking expert, but I don't know why it says economic. But liberation from dollar restrictions marks a new beginning for the Iraqi banking sector. And then look at those, our beautiful $100 bills. So this is Mustafa Hantoush. And how can that name not be familiar to you? I say it enough, and I enjoy saying his name. Sometimes they even put his middle name. He has 3 names, and it just flows so nicely. Mustafa Hantoush. But remember, what you might remember is he and Mohammed Saleh and Samir al-Nusari, they went out to a smaller grouping of people that appeared to be well-to-do because they were dressed nice. And they had a meeting there and they listened to their concerns. And I said, because this guy is young, he's probably late 30s, mid 40s, right? And I said, he's probably hoping one of them retires soon so he can take their jobs. But anyway, so yeah, financial and banking expert Mustafa Hantoush affirmed that the Iraqi banking sector is on the cusp of a new phase, moving towards liberation from dollar-based transactions. He stressed that this requires comprehensive and fundamental reforms to modernize the banking infrastructure and enhance its efficiency. Hantoush stated that approximately 90% of the Iraqi banking system remains subject to the restrictions imposed on dollar transactions due to the problems and suspicions the sector has witnessed in recent periods. He indicated recent indicators are positive, and some banks are expected to begin gradually freeing themselves from these restrictions within the next 3 months. So November, December, January, right? Early 2026. He added that the banking sector still lacks genuine activity as it needs to activate the deposit, lending, and investment systems in an integrated manner, along with a review of regulatory standards in coordination with the Central Bank of Iraq. So that's where we are. They've done a lot of implementing. Now they need to activate, right? So Hantoush called for a shift towards full financial inclusion through diversifying banking services and expanding the customer base, as well as strengthening cooperation with international banks and opening new correspondent banking channels like that new Arab bank, right? Arab Bank -Iraq, that enable Iraqi banks to integrate into the global financial system. So we're seeing that word integrate more and more, right? And last paragraph for this article, Hantoush concluded by emphasizing that developing technical systems and simplifying procedures to serve the citizen represent the most important step in the reform process, as they are the basis for getting rid of the bureaucracy, that's a hard word, that hinders the progress of the sector and limits its ability to compete. Alright, so, yeah, I mean, that's, I'm not sure why he's been, like, given the spotlight, but he goes on talk shows quite a bit, this guy, Hantoush, and his articles, and he came from, where I first saw him was Central Iraq. So, I don't know, maybe they like him. It's just interesting because I've been looking at these articles for so long. I've seen some people come and go, and he's newer, right? So, someone's getting ready to go. If they're bringing him in. Anyway, all right, so this is a pretty neat article too. A new wealth to rival oil. Billions of dollars beneath the sands of Iraq. And it's this group again, this Echo Iraq Observatory, announced on Saturday the quantities of silica sand discovered in the governorates of Anbar and Najaf, describing it as white gold. So if you want to read that, you can. There's some numbers there that are probably fake, but I don't trust anything, right? And what it could go for, how many jobs it will provide, really good. All right, Al Rashid Bank calls on employees to update their data and warns of temporary account suspension. So I'm guessing they'll do to them what they did to the people in Vietnam. You need to update your records or suspension. It says right there, temporary suspension of the account until the update is completed. So you think you want to go digital? Well, that's what they're going to be doing. Anything they want from you, all they have to say is you have to give us this or we're going to freeze your account. Temporary suspension. Did you watch the video that I put that showed the dystopia they want us living in? I think two posts ago I posted it. I'm going to post it again because in case you don't understand how detrimental going totally digital is to us, the people. Because the billionaires, they're not putting their money in that system. I don't know how they'll get around a dual system. But just like now, here in America, we all have to use one medical system. But Congress, they didn't vote themselves into that medical system. Do you know that? They have their own private. They can go wherever they want for doctors and the like. So, rules for thee, but not for me. Oh, I don't know how I got there. Anyway. Alright, let's get back to, something. Oh, no. Here. National security urges citizens do not share your banking information with unofficial entities. So this came out also because people, they keep pointing to retirees, pensioners. They've been getting scammed. Scammers rely on a luring method through attractive advertisements that include promises of easy loans, free financial grants, or offers to sell dollars at attractive prices. Well, how about you change the rate? Oh, and I'm going with New Rate November. Someone from Spotify suggested that, and I like it. So we're going to claim it. New Rate November. All right. So, yeah. Also, so I was going to say, if they would just totally get rid of dollars, then they couldn't attract people with things like that, right? And so here's another instance of, people get scammed out of fiat, right? But it's so much easier, I think, to get scammed digitally, right? Electronically, whatever. All right, and if you would like to support my FX buddies, like a new person, I'm not going to say their name because they use their real name. Oh, their initials though. DR, thank you, and thank you for the encouraging words. And they actually went to buy me a coffee. But yeah, buy me a coffee. This will be a live link when this blog is live. Cash App is always live. And it's $Tishwash. And PayPal, I am Tishwash as well. Big or small, I appreciate it all. And thank you in advance for your generosity. Alright, so here is, I don't know the date of this photo. I wish they would say. So here's another photo with Mark Zavaya. And this is Sudani. Again in a dark suit. Right? Same haircut. He looks the same all the time. So I never know. But I don't think, if this is his office in Michigan or wherever, would he have a Iraqi flag there? And look at all the things on the desk. The covers of them are the Iraqi logo, I guess. I don't know what you would call that. So I don't know, but here is something. If you enlarge that too big, it gets blurry. And I can't tell, is Sudani giving that to him? Is he giving it to Sudani? And there's not too many details. It just says the new U.S. envoy to Iraq, Mark Zavaya, announced on Sunday that he had officially begun his duties in the capital, Baghdad. So he's there, but we know he's there because there was an article that said he's here, but their meetings are behind closed doors. So maybe that is his office. All right, let's make, because of the great, did I read this? I don't think I did. Because of the great leadership of the U.S. president, Iraq is now back. I am on the job. Let's make Iraq great again. And then there it is in Arabic, and then they have this picture of our two flags together. Oh, that's large. All right, moving on. Well, you know what? I'm going to stop here, and I want to show you some things. Okay, look at this. we've had this website before, remember? Freightnet. Freightnet.com. And what they do is they calculate freight shipping. And I forget who the other one was. So this is the second one that I've seen from China to Iraq by air. So they're really doing things, you guys. So this invoice, I guess, well, it's a rate quote, right? It's a quote. It says right there, freight quote. So it would be dispatched by air and arrive no later than November 15th. The cargo is departing from China and arriving in Iraq. Full details of the shipping quote request can be found below. Yeah, so look at that. I need fast offer. So it's in English without having to translate. So let's see. Would you want to look at this? You know what? I'll put the link. I'll put the link at the bottom of the blog. You know how I do. Because I know some people want to hear the articles. They don't necessarily want to read them. So the fun, neat stuff like this, I put at the bottom. And there's already, well, here's another article about U.S. President tasks businessman to curb the neighbor's influence in Iraq. And it says everything they all say. But, so I'm not going to post it. But I just want you to see, every day they're bombarded with these articles. Lots of them. Alright? And now this came out October 28th. This is how long I've been holding this. Oh, shoot. You can't see it. Okay, there we go. Official partner of Barcelona. Right? So, I thought that was interesting. And it's EBC Financial Group. But look at the title of this article. Iraqi Dinar Future Prediction 2025. Expert and Market Insights. So, if you study, which a lot of you guys do, you study and you go from site to site, and which is fine, then nothing on here is new. What this is, well, let me not say that. I feel they wrote this article to get SEO, search engine optimization, because look at how they did this. So, as of October 2025, the Iraqi dinar, which this is a hyperlink to a previous article they wrote. Then they have IQD in parentheses, remains effectively pegged and stable in the domestic market, trading around, blah, blah, blah. Iraq's foreign exchange reserves are substantial, right? But see, this Iraqi dinar is a term people would search on the internet for, right? IQD is a term people would search for. That here they have bold appreciation or a sudden revaluation. That's in quotation marks. That's a word that people would search for, right? And then it says remains highly unlikely without a massive policy shift and deeper structural reforms. Speculative dinar revaluation, again in quotation marks, claims continue to circulate but remain unsubstantiated. And then they have, this is the old Google. Oh, matter of fact, let me show you today's Google. It's different. New rate November 1st. Somebody did some trading because it closed at 13:08 on Friday. And then Oh wait, sorry, that's way back. It closed at 1310. See here, October 31st. It closed at 1310. So why does it say 1305 here? So this will be 2 weekends in a row they were messing around with the numbers, right? Okay, just wanted to show you that. So let's go back. So here they're using the old Google. That's my phone. Okay, then it has the rate that's on the CBI. Why Iraqi dinar attracts attention and misconceptions about it. And that's a standard picture. The Iraqi dinar attracts outsized public interest for 3 reasons, and it has the 3 reasons there. And then look at this, the Iraqi dinar future prediction. So there's a lot of stuff here. And guess what? I cannot copy and paste this. I don't know what they did to this site. Here, the 5 drivers that will decide the Iraqi dinar's path. So it's really good. It's a really good article, but it gives and it takes away. You know what I mean? And, yeah. So I would like for you to go visit it if you'd like. So what I did was I put a link to it all the way at the bottom. There it is. It's not live right now, but when this is a live blog, this will be a live link to that article. And the article comes up in English. So there'll be 2 things at the bottom. What was the other thing I said I was going to put there? Oh, that freight thing. The link to the freight thing. All right. So, yeah. Okay. So, that was that. Nope. There's one more thing I want to show you. They need so much rain. They're asking people to pray for rain. The last hope for Iraqis. Mosques are calling on believers to pray for rain. Alright, and what's this one? Oh, Oman. Oman calls for reviving the neighbor and American dialogue and urges the Gulf to break Tehran's isolation. But Oman was one of the mediators in the current, what is that, ceasefire, right? The peace treaty, whatever that. So maybe they can get something done with the neighbor, right? Okay. So we ended with that. No? Oh no, you know what? That picture shouldn't be there. Anyway, alright, so we ended with that. Okay, so here is, I believe, a member of parliament. Oh, he's a candidate for the rights movement. Oh, and let me just say, there were articles out today. One said Sadani's up by 50 seats over Maliki. And another one said he's up 19 seats over Maliki. So, we'll see. Alright, so this is a candidate for the rights movement. I'm not sure. I know that's not Maliki's group. So, he says 2 conditions are set for implementing economic reform in Iraq. And he emphasized on Saturday the necessity of genuine economic reform to curb corruption and bolster local investment. He stressed that human development, education, and youth will be at the forefront of the priorities for the next phase. In a statement, his group, right, will prioritize services, job opportunities, and combating administrative and financial corruption, in addition to supporting the poor and improving the state of education and healthcare. The next phase requires legislation that supports social justice and expands welfare programs to ensure a fair distribution of national wealth. Those are words they like to hear. Contributing to stability and sustainable development. Iraq needs a serious reform vision that prioritizes the citizens' interest above all political considerations and restores trust between the people and the state institutions. All right? Araji, who is the NSA guy, right? National Security Advisor. He's Iraq's NSA guy. He met with U.S. Secretary of Interior. I don't think that is his correct last name, but whatever. Mr. Doug Borgum. They're in somewhere, wherever this Manama is. Oh, Bahrain. So there's a conference there. So he met with him briefly, and then also he met with the British something or another. The active role of Iraq in the stability of the region was also reviewed through the Iraqi government's policy of distancing itself from conflicts and bringing international and regional viewpoints closer together. All right, we're almost done. We can skip this, but this, if the Kurdish people still watch, here's the article about the My Account system. You're going to be able to do more services. You're going to be able to pay your bills right out of that system. So this picture shouldn't be here. Obviously, it's the same picture before. And I love this picture. This picture is at least 5 years old. I don't know why. I just like it. Our flag. And is that the Marines? Are those the Marines? I don't know, but I just like it. But anyway, an American project to restructure Iraq, end the neighbors' influence, and unify decision-making between Baghdad and Erbil. And those are problems, issues, right? That we've been, at least if you've been listening to me, that we've been following that, right? The hydrocarbon law will settle some of that. What's the other thing? Getting them the salaries in a timely manner would settle that. But yeah, so this is another article about Mark Savaya, and here they've changed his name again. But anyway, so yeah, he's there for a tradition from traditional diplomatic address to the project of establishing the Iraqi state against any foreign influence, except ours, right? But it says, except Iranian character. So they're ready for a new phase, blah, blah, blah. I don't know why this here would not translate. So I copy and pasted it separately. So maybe this is what it says. Who knows? But yeah, so if you want to read that. They are really heavily following what's happening in Venezuela. They're really following what's happening in the Sudan. Are you supposed to say the Sudan or just Sudan? Which is awful. They're following what's happening in Nigeria, but not as closely as Venezuela and Sudan. So I'm not going to cover this, but you can see what, Maduro accuses us of, what we do when we go over to a place. Yeah. All right. So we're done. Thank you. Like I said, I will add, so I already have the link to that place from Spain, the website from Spain, but I'll add the other one, the freight one. And hopefully there'll be some more exciting news tomorrow. But yeah, so thank you for your time, spending your time with me. As always, I ask you to hit the thumbs up button, and thank you. Accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. What else? That's it. Enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame you are indulging in this content, and until tomorrow.